Ghostlight Road is altogether frightening and real. One of the things I'd like to dispel right off the bat is the notion that I have somehow been taping or filming the moon. That's absolutely ludicrous. I'm going to show you some footage now from Ghostlight Road investigation number 4, and I'm going to show you the glowing orb, and I'm also going to show you the moon. And it just so happens on this night the moon is in a crescent, and so you can see that the glowing orb, which is round, is not the moon. It's a different color and everything.
What's up, Kevin McCarty? What's up? Are you looking at that on the screen? Are you scared yet?
Nope.
Is it headlights?
No.
What is it? Brother, look, okay, come on, you come with me. Oh, no, wait, hold on, I didn't know I could zoom in this much. Brother, that's it. We're recording this shit. Ayin Thropos.
It happens to be in a crescent that night, and the ghost light is in a round, circular shape. So they're obviously not the same. They're not the same color. They don't act the same. The Ghostlight Road is not the moon. Punks, motherfuckers that accuse me of hoaxing the evidence. Granted, I've had people look at it, and I don't know that I've ever anyone's put that stamp on me. I mean, and anyone who thinks it's a hoax or whatever, just keep your comments to yourself. Go troll someone else's page. This is a serious investigation. I've done 5 investigations at Ghostlight Road. We take this very seriously, and we're getting ready to do Ghostlight Road investigation number 6. I have got several topics that I research. Obviously, mind control is one of them. MK Ultra. You already know a little bit about the history of my family. And that the fact that I'm on the I'm on the bloodlines of the pharaonic dominators, for better or for worse. I do investigations at Ghostlight Road. And Ghostlight Road is in the Big Thicket area of Texas, which is one of the most diverse ecosystems on the planet, believe it or not. The drones, using the drones at Ghostlight Road has been somewhat limited in its effectiveness. The drones are harder to operate at night. They're harder to get good footage with, and there's all sorts of problems that come about. When the ghost lights appear, you really don't want to be operating a drone, you really want to be shooting the phenomenon. But you've seen I've shown some footage on here of some of the drones, one at night and daylight footage from a 4K drone. We might show some other drone footage, but just to give you an idea in the daylight what Ghostlight Road looks like during the day, and the trees and stuff like that from a higher vantage point, much higher vantage point than normally you see on my videos. We're going to continue investigating the Ghostlight Road phenomenon. It appears every time I go out there. One time it didn't seem like it didn't want to appear, and I thought it was because of the person that I was with, and I still think that. And then we went back to the hotel room and crashed out, and then I woke up and went back alone. And that's when the Ghostlight Road phenomenon presented itself, and that was on Ghostlight Road investigation number 5. Last November, in November of 2018. That was last year.
All right. You don't know Ghost Light Road. A.N. Thropos here with another exciting episode of You Don't Know. You don't know, huh? So don't act like you do.
As you can see, the Ghost Light Road phenomenon takes place on the Bragg Road, which is in Saratoga, Texas, a couple of miles outside of Saratoga, which is just a little bitty piece of shit town.
And Ghost Light Road is in the Big Thicket area of Texas, which is one of the most diverse ecosystems on the planet, believe it or not.
In East Texas, about approximately 40 minutes north of Houston. Out there in that area, you have the Big Thicket Preserve. You got various UNESCO sites, man and biosphere reserves. Excuse me, man and biosphere reserves. These are UNESCO sites set aside by the United Nations, which means they have jurisdiction over this park, that particular park. And you've got a number of state parks and national parks and national preserves. So there's all different kinds of parks, preserves, and areas that are set aside for wildlife and stuff like that.
It's actually classified as a jungle in the continental United States, not including Hawaii, but in the continental United States, there are two scientifically classified jungles. And one of them is in Florida. It starts with an S. The name would be very familiar to anyone listening. It's a swampy, area, whatever, Florida. And the other one, believe it or not, is in Texas. And when you think of Texas, you don't think of jungles. But yeah, there is not a jungle like, but literally a jungle in Texas by all scientific definitions. And there's flesh-eating plants. There's so many diverse biospheres and ecospheres. You've got ecospheres overlapping one another, creating unique ecospheres that are not seen anywhere else on the planet. And on top of that, throughout this whole area is rife with every type of paranormal phenomenon that you've ever even heard of. All overlapping. It's one of the most biggest paranormal hotspots on the planet. We're talking big cat sightings. Of course, Bigfoot. The list goes on and on. Pterodactyl sightings. Thunderbird sightings. Huge, like dinosaur type birds, you know what I mean? And one thing that we hardly ever hear of, and this is proto-human sightings. In other words, there have been two different sightings down there where men working off in the middle of the wilds of the Big Thicket Forest, high up on electrical, like not phone poles, but electrical poles, these big metal structures that carry these, electrical wires through great distances. We're up there on those things and we're surrounded by basically cavemen. And we're attacked with rudimentary bows and arrows and spears and stuff. Not fucking bizarre. So in other words, read between the lines. There's some type of time warp going on there. Some type of portal to another time or another dimension. And they were literally surrounded by cavemen. But once again, just like your experience, the arrows never seemed to quite hit. They somehow escaped with their life. That's the one thing that's very unusual about a lot of these experiences. And so if it makes you think, okay, well, the person who's it's happening to, you think they're trying to get you, you think they're trying to kill you, but they never quite do, and you're still alive. So then what could possibly be the reason? Well, what was the outcome of this experience? Fear. Total fear. And so we must ask ourselves, was that the goal to begin with? To extract fear, to extract loosh from you, or some type of fear, to extract it as a food or as an energy source. What do you think about that?
Oh, definitely.
Total fear. And so we must ask ourselves, was that the goal to begin with? To extract fear, to extract loosh from you, or some type of fear, to extract it as a food or as an energy source. What do you think about that?
Oh, definitely. Like,
And anything that's UNESCO or the United Nations has a claim on, that always sends up a red flag, because these are areas that they're usually wanting to keep people out of, and these are areas, in this case, where a lot of the paranormal phenomenon takes place. So that's a red flag a lot of times when you have these even state designated parks or national designated parks. We know that David Paulides has written the series of books 411, Missing 411, and where he has documented the fact that national parks do not, or national park police forces and national parks in general, do not keep records of people that go missing, the amounts of people that go missing. And that's highly unusual. No other jurisdictions in the country do not do that. All cities, all counties, states, and everything keep records of missing persons, but they do not keep records of missing persons in national parks, probably because they don't want you to know how many people go missing. And a lot of these things are probably related to all different types of phenomenon, but definitely including the forest people, you know, or the Bigfoot type phenomenon. And not trying to give them a bad name, but it's just been reported, you know, and so there must be something to it. Bigfoot, or what in Texas 100 or so years ago was called the wild man, is something that we study here. It's one of our fields of interest here at You Don't Know, as is the Ghost Light Road phenomenon. And I am one of the world's leading experts on the Ghost Light Road phenomenon. Rob Riggs, who's written several books on the phenomenon, is now dead. And he was pretty much impossible to contact before he died, or at least for me. But we still have his books to use as a resource material. And we have me out there, you know, doing investigations. Like I say, I've done 5 investigations at Ghost Light Road, and it's one of the most reliable paranormal phenomenon on the planet. It's similar, I think, to the Marfa lights, but no one can get within 2 miles of the Marfa lights. You can't get close to them. Whereas with the Ghost Light Road phenomenon and the glowing orbs associated with the Ghost Light Road phenomenon, you can get close. You can get frighteningly close. And I am the only person that I know of, or have even heard of, who has captured images of the entities within the orbs, the entities within the crafts, or whatever these things are. And when you know, I've made still photos of the videos from Ghost Light Road investigation number 3, I believe. And these entities, when you know it, they look just like E.T., the classic E.T. that we've been shown our whole lives. And so was this some type of, you know, close encounter of the third kind? I don't know. These glowing orbs, as far as I know, do not come from outer space. I don't not believe. I can tell you where they come from because I've filmed or taped where they come from, and they come out of the ground. So they're not from up there, they're from down there, okay? But they do fly around in the air. That's their medium that they move through. They are intelligently controlled. If you follow them, they will run away. A lot of times, if you run away from them, they'll follow you. So it's a type of cat and mouse type deal. And they are intelligently controlled.